Brad, it's a dramatic draw with Telford on our first away game. How did you see that one?
First half I thought we were bright and we played well. Very similar to Leamington where we dominated the ball and we maybe didn't create as many chances as we should have done. That's credit to how Telford worked and how difficult they made it around their box for us to get opportunities to score, but felt we was right in control until the very last minute of the first half where I think they had a little shot where it hit the outside of the post. Other than that, it was quite comfortable, pleasing. And then second half, them attacking their fans, maybe give them a little bit more emphasis, and they put us under a little bit more pressure, and we started to make some unforced errors and some naive decisions, inexperienced decisions off a few players. On a very good pitch, on a hot day, I think both teams tired towards the end and it became quite open. We scored a good goal and went ahead and should have stayed ahead. They threw caution to the wind, and with our inexperience we allowed them to put the ball in the box too many times, and eventually they got on the end of one, and I'm not sure if it's deservedly got a point, but scored a very late goal, which is obviously very disappointing from our point of view, because when you go 1-0 up away from home in the 85th minute or whatever it was, we felt we should have held out and got a victory.
You made two changes going into today, one of which was Brad Holmes, the goal scorer from last weekend. Is there an update on him there?
He had to go for an X-ray during the week. He got late in the game last week. He went up for a header. He landed and he just went over on his ankle. Lucia was a little bit worried that he might have been a small fracture in his ankle. Thankfully, it's not. It is just a swelling. So fingers crossed he's not out too long. But that was an enforced change today, and I just felt today Telford it suited more Jack Stafford starting after a prolonged absence. We've protected him and allowed him to come back slowly from his injury that he got in pre-season. And he did well for about 70 minutes today.
When one goal scorer isn't available, another one pops up. Ben Darby on the score sheet. How good is it to see another person in different areas of the pitch get on the score sheet?
Yeah, we obviously this season we want goals from everybody. It's one of them where if subs go on and they make an impact, it gives us a little thought to think, could he do that from a starting position? And that's what I want subs to do. When they go on the pitch, they've got to be ready to go on. They've got to make an impact, and they've got to try and get themselves in the team. And Ben, great header, getting in the box as I want midfielders to do, and he did really well when he got on.
For the lion's share of the game, up until the 90th minute, it's a pretty solid defensive performance, including that man between the sticks who's pulled off plenty more saves again.
Yeah. Obviously we knew all about Callum last season, and his distribution as well as his shot stopping are excellent. I felt he did really well today. They tried to put him under pressure from corners, and he dealt with that. So we've got a really good signing in goal, and we expect him to get better as we want all the team to learn from these experiences and continue to develop as a group. And hopefully sooner rather than later we turn games like this into victories, which allows us to push on.
We continue the new season into Tuesday, our first midweek fixture. It's away at Chester, a team that we drew 1-1 with again last season. How are we looking into that one?
Well, everybody today, there's no signs of any knocks or injuries, even though everybody's give everything today, and they'll feel it tomorrow. going into Tuesday night's game, I've got a full group who were available today to pick from. We'll have a look at Chester and what they've done today, and know what they did last week. So you know, it's always a game that we look forward to. I always enjoy going to Chester. Fantastic stadium like this, and good pitch against a good team. So you know, this is what should excite people, this new group, you know, going to these stadiums and showing what they're capable of. And like I say, we're learning from the experiences we get. We're going to that one a little bit better off than we went into this one today, and we'll continue to develop.
Cheers, Travis.
Thank you.